Number one, Tennessee got beat. Alabama got beat again. Clemson got beat again. Those guys are probably out of the college football playoffs. The burning question is what's happened there in Tuscaloosa because Nick Saban has owned college football for such an extended period of time. I think there's a bunch of things in play. I think the landscape has changed in college football, John, because of the transfer portal. I think that's a huge piece of the equation. Bama's not getting a ton of transfers. Clemson's not getting a ton of transfers. Those guys are going to all these other schools that are suddenly ranked in the top 10. And then Bama's got injury problems. They got the last year's Heisman Trophy winner, Bryce Young, is throwing for 350 a game, can't run the ball, do not pass block very well. Young is running for his life. Secondary is absolute mess. It's just not the same Alabama football. And Clemson's quarterbacks have just not been the same since Deshaun Watson went to the NFL, and therefore they're not the same program. And neither of those teams are getting transfers. I mean, you look at the polls after what those guys used to be. Georgia's Georgia because they've recruited really well. They don't have a ton of transfers either, but they're playing tremendous defense, and they've got a very good quarterback, Stetson Bennett. Ohio State and Michigan are typical Big Ten big boys. But then, you look after that, USC, transfer route, UCLA, transfer route and healthy. Oregon, their starting quarterback was at Auburn, and Bo Nix is doing an unbelievable job. So we've got 4 weeks left in the regular season in college football, and probably 3 of the top 6 teams that were in the rankings, see ya. They're gone. So there's going to be some new people in postseason play. And I guess I kind of like that because I was tired of seeing Nick Saban. And I was really tired of seeing Dabo Swinney and Clemson. So we're going to have some new blood there. But I think the lack of transfers and the injuries, and I think a side part of this is all the guys that have gone to the NFL from Alabama and Georgia, I think have changed the landscape of what was the upper echelon. Now, there'll be some changes because Ohio State's still got to play Michigan. And TCU, which has come out of nowhere, has to go to Austin to play the Texas Longhorns this weekend. So somebody in the upper echelon, 2 or 3, is going to falter. TCU, if they get beat at Texas, they could falter, and they'd fall out of the mix. We could have 2 Pac-12 teams in the Final Four of college football.
Who would have thunk, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the beginning of the year, we were kind of counting out the Pac-12. But what's interesting to me is that the college football playoff system always seems to kind of keep a bar stool warm for Nick Saban. They'll lose a game, but they seem to always find their way in there. So I'm with you. I'd like to see some new blood. Frankly, I'd like to see the playoff expanded to 8 teams, maybe even 16 teams.
Well, they're going to 12. That's
12.
What's being negotiated right now. But it's very complicated because it impacts all the bowls, and that's another topic for another day.